Hey, what's going on, CoinOpTV subscribers? Robert Welkner here. On this video, I want to talk about my top 5 Jackie Chan movies of all time. And when I say all time, I really mean kind of his golden era from the late 70s through the mid 90s is when I kind of consider Jackie Chan's golden era. I'm a big fan of Jackie Chan. I'm not quite sure if I've seen every one of his movies, specifically like the last handful of movies, you know, as his action star kind of declines a little bit as he gets a little older. But, you know, everything in the 70s, 80s, 90s, movies I've seen multiple times in the theaters, home video, bootleg VHSs, bootleg DVDs, official Blu-rays, Laserdisc, you name it. I had a Jackie Chan movie collection in some form, and right now I'm still buying Jackie Chan movies and talking about Jackie Chan movies to my friends and family and rewatching them and enjoying them. So I thought, you know, let's make a little top 5 video for you guys. Okay, before we get to the top 5, let's talk about honorable mention, and this might be a little bit of a hot take, but I'm going to put Drunken Master, which I have on the Twilight Time double feature here. This is actually a pretty great release. It's got a little booklet inside and both classic movies in one package, which I think is out of print now. So you should try and pick this up soon. But Drunken Master, great movie, excellent movie. I had to make a top 5 and I had to give this honorable mention. Drunken Master was 1978. It's kind of Jackie Chan's drunken drunken fighting style, his take on Wong Fai Hung, kind of a different vibe than we had seen in other movies previous. You know, it's kind of a classical Asian martial arts hero and stuff. A lot of great scenes with Jackie Chan learning Kung Fu and great montage stuff, and really fun film and a great starting point for getting into, you know, as a Jackie Chan person. It just isn't as good as my official top 5, which I'll get to right now. So number 5 is going to be Jackie Chan's Project A, which I have on this Miramax multi 4-feature thing. And I know that Eureka has a Project A version, which is an import in Region B. And I'm trying to find like a better version of Project A, so I don't have it kind of on here. But the version on here actually looks pretty good. But Project A, of course, it's got the 3 dragons together, Jackie Chan, Sammo Yun-byung, and they're taking on some pirates. They're kind of the Navy military police. And if you've seen this movie, or if you've seen clips of Jackie Chan highlights, you've probably seen the 2 standout scenes, the chase on the bicycle, which is legendary, classic, great choreographed, great gags, great moments. And then there's the scene hanging from the clock tower, where he's kind of just that whole scene inside the clock tower as well, with the gears in the top fighting. Then he kind of goes out and hangs and drops down below, and you see Jackie just, you know, falling almost to his death on his head, his back, his butt, his side, and pretty great stuff. A little bit of a drag kind of in the middle there, which kind of is typical of Jackie Chan movies. You know, it seems like a lot of these are filmed out without a full complete script, and they're just looking for scenes and moments and locations, and then they kind of piece it together a little bit in the editing room. But the ending with the pirates in the cave and all that stuff at the end was really great and worth sticking around for. So Project A, number 5. Coming in at number 4 is Jackie Chan's Operation Condor, also known as Armor of the God 2. I actually talked about this movie not long ago on my YouTube channel because I just picked up the 88 Films version, which has a nice little slipcover, color booklet inside. This version is actually Region B. I had to get a Region B player so I could check it out. But they did a great job kind of remastering and putting together different versions of the film. But Operation Condor, really a fun movie. It's got a lot of the action, a lot of locations. Definitely, it kind of feels like a James Bond, Mission Impossible type movie where it's just like, all right, let's get up and go to the next place, do some fighting, do some espionage, do some comedy. And the only complaint sort of I have with the movie is the middle sort of drags a bit, and this is kind of a repetitive thing I'll be saying about Jackie Chan movies, but when things pick up at the end, at the wind tunnel scene, it's really great. This has different, this Blu-ray has different cuts of the film, like I mentioned, and I actually prefer sort of the shorter cut that I believe Miramax, yeah, here it is on my Miramax collection, Operation Condor. I believe I like that version a little bit better because it kind of trims a little bit of the fat in the middle. But whatever version you're going to watch is going to be tons of comedy, tons of action, tons of stunts. Jackie getting hurt in multiple places, and definitely Operation Condor right up there. Okay, let's talk about 3, and this is when it really gets difficult talking about top 3 Jackie Chan movies. I'm going to put Jackie Chan's Police Story from 1985 in number 3. This is the Criterion release that I have, which comes with a nice little slipcover and color booklet. And of course, it comes with Police Story 2 as well, which is a fun movie, but not as great as Police Story 1 and 3 and, even 4 for Strike. Let's talk about Police Story. Now, that kind of changed the game when it comes to action movies. Jackie was sort of trying to break into the US, the Americas, and make some action movies over there. The directors really didn't know what to do with him, and so his movies in the US at that time, the early 80s, didn't really turn out that great. So he went sort of back to Hong Kong, made Police Story, and just basically said, look, I'm gonna make this all out, balls to the wall action, glass breaking stunts, just fast pace and pretty compelling story and pretty good story overall, if not, a few silly parts here and there, and just memorable stuff. Jackie on the bus with the umbrella hanging off the side is very memorable. Even simple things of him just kind of running straight down a hill where it looks like one trip he'll sort of tumble, break his neck, break his back, break his head, break his foot. Those are things that are crazy. And then of course at the end there's a big scene where in the mall with all the glass breaking and all that craziness going on, and where he kind of jumps off and slides down the pole, which it's like a fun moment to see and a big giant stunt. But the way it sort of paused right before he kind of takes the jump and stuff, it sort of takes you a little bit out of the scene a little bit. You'll have to let me know in the comments below if you feel like the flow is broken a little bit with that or not, if you're okay with it all. Number 2, my second favorite all-time Jackie Chan movie from his classic era. We're going back to this disc, Snake in the Eagle's Shadow, which is fantastic. I mean, this disc alone has 2 great Jackie Chan movies with Drunken Master and Snake in the Eagle's Shadow, but Snake in the Eagle's Shadow, which somehow holds up really great. And the training sequences, the comedy, the quality of the picture and the visual, it just seems like a lot of things meshed and came together really well. And it's just great. It's still fun to watch. There's a couple of scenes that I wish kind of didn't make it to the movie, like the questionable scene with the cat and the snake fighting. Clearly that wasn't great to watch, back in 1978, and it's still not so great to watch back in current times, 2020 or whatever times, as an animal fan and lover. Seeing that scene is a little kind of crazy because you're watching it kind of going like, hey, what's going on? Is that cat being tortured? Is that snake being tortured? Are they both being sort of tortured into this for the great good of cinema history? But as a movie itself, so many great scenes. The reason why I like Snake and Eagle's Shadow over Drunken Master is it just feels like the story and the comedy and the rhythm came together a little bit more. It's hard to the pulse, just sort of fit. It's kind of hard to put my finger on it, but that's kind of the way I feel, and that's why it's number 2. So if you haven't seen that movie, it's a classic. Check it out. And finally, number 1, my favorite Jackie Chan movie of all time, which I think probably goes on everybody else's number 1 list. And if it doesn't, then I sort of question if they've even seen this movie or how many Jackie Chan movies they've seen. But Drunken Master 2 from 1994. I have 2 versions of it here. I have kind of the Blu-ray version that was mishandled with the naming. They called it The Legend of Drunken Master instead of Drunken Master 2, trying to sort of, get people to start with that. This is the Dimensions release. I've had this for a long time, and I've rewatched it over and over, and I've seen it in the movies with the dub. Recently, I was able to get my hands on the Hong Kong Rescue Ultimate Blu-ray edition right here, and this is not official, and it's sort of a fan-made version, but it's remastered, and it's got like multiple versions of the movie, multiple audio versions. I believe that they redo the subtitles to make them a little better. It's like 2 discs there, and it's not too expensive, region free. So I definitely am excited to have the Hong Kong Rescue version of this. I'm going to order some more of those. But getting to the movie, whew. First of all, Long Kar Long was the director who's done a lot of classic cinematic martial arts movies in the past over the years. Apparently there was a little bit of a clash, and Jackie kind of wound up directing the finale scene, which is legendary, which is Jackie's drinking, he has to drink some booze to get into this Drunken Master Kung Fu. When that's not around, just go straight for the gasoline. And some of the stuff that's going on in that last scene there with him versus his real life bodyguard and stuff like this is just great. And you've probably seen clips of this in montages or trailers or mimicked and wondered, hey, what movie is that? Well, it's from Drunken Master 2. And in a way, it's a great starting point, but I almost feel like you should watch some of these Jackie Chan movies in a little bit of the order that I'm putting out, so that once you get to Drunken Master 2, you really can sort of appreciate and just be like, wow, this is great stuff. It's also great to see some smaller parts with Andy Lau, T. Lung, some classic martial arts and Hong Kong cinema actors out there. Movie ramps up the tension. There's interesting stuff going on with kind of the culture as well, and the historic artifacts and things like that, and Hong Kong and China mainland and all that kind of stuff going on. So it kind of opens up the eyes a little bit. Rewatching it recently on this version with the correct subtitles, or the better subtitles, versus the strangely dubbed version, I was actually able to pick up some things and appreciate a little bit more of the cultural essence, the cultural elements in there. So there you go. There's my top 5 Jackie Chan movies, of course, from the golden era, the late 70s, early 90s. You guys will have to let me know in the comments below what you think. Am I completely wrong? Am I completely off? Did I completely miss any? It would probably be easier to make like a top 10 or a top 20, because I'm a big giant Jackie Chan fan. But I thought in this video we'll just narrow it down to 5. So thanks a bunch for watching for CoinOpTV. We'll see you guys next time.